I am not the atoms which are currently within a given boundary, one we might call my body. We know that atoms whiz around from here to there, now in a raindrop, now in the ground, now in a flower, now in a bee, now in some honey, now it's in me, now it's gone. But I'm still here, so what am I? The cells then, it's the cells. But we know this too now, that cells live and die in a much shorter cycle than ourselves. So I am not my atoms, I am not my cells, I am not my memories or personality, for they too are transient. And as these things come and go, they form familiar shapes, a shape we call me. I seem more to be the banks, and not the river. The thing which determines the shapes and patterns the material things take as they pass through me. What is directing the shapes which these things will take? What is directing the shapes they take, these atoms, these cells, these thoughts, this thought? What is directing them into the shape of this body, this person, this being? More interesting still, watch as this shape contemplates its own existence. Consider the universe, a big hunk of nothing, littered by tiny specks of barely something here and there. In one of these tiny specks is a cluster of galaxies, one of which is our galaxy, in the backwaters of which is a pretty measly star, near which is a grain of sand, and on this grain of sand, this tiny little patch of that barely something which is littered around the universe. On that grain of sand there is a thin layer of barely nothings buzzing around and taking tiny little shapes. These shapes persist over grand time scales, while the pieces of matter continue to buzz around, now here, now there, now part of this shape, now filling out that. These shapes then, how strange that one now sits and contemplates its own existence. This anomaly, this curiosity. For there are much grander shapes being formed in the universe on a scale this shape can never conceive, but surely this is one of the most curious shapes ever. Most curious indeed, contrived out of so many loops built upon loops built upon loops. This shape is capable of some pretty curious behavior, while binary stars perform their dance and the pillars of creation play out their drama on an epic scale, in comparison to which these shapes in question are not even visible. There seems to be something different about this case. These shapes think of themselves as separate. They do not see themselves as simply part of the messy whole of matter scattered around the universe. They sit there contemplating their own nature, as if this is a separate job from contemplating the nature of the universe. So here we all sit. No matter what path we took to understand ourselves, our paths have diverged for some time, but now our paths lead back to the point of convergence. We are close enough to hear each other's voices through the woods. I must admit that I have been solidly on the materialist path, but it has taught me the study of patterns, which has proven useful to many people at many times. But now I can study the pattern of the path itself, and I can now see where it is going. Those who have been on a more spiritual path, I believe, our paths are close enough now that you can hear my voice. Though you will recognize it comes from afar, from someone not on your path, you can hear that we are soon to arrive at the point of convergence. No, I am not matter, but I don't believe that I am a non-material soul. There is no other type of substance which I can be made out of. I am the nothing between the somethings which appear to make me up. I am the invisible banks of this torrent of matter that is directing them into the shapes that we call me. I am nothing. It matters not which atoms make me up, only the shape they take when they are here. When all the matter goes away, when the river dries up, do the banks still define a shape out of nothingness? Or is it simply part of the nothingness which it was all along?